Marine life have one intended home, free, uninhibited, and in the wild. An underwater, carefree zone, custom made just for them. Unfortunately, it hasn't always worked out that way, giving rise to those who stand on guard for marine life, rescuers.
But our core essence at Clearwater Marine Aquarium is to take these animals that need help, get them well, and get them back in the Gulf of the ocean. That's what we're about.
CMA's beginnings go way, way back. Much further than you think.
Did you know a static fish display was the forerunner for the Clearwater Marine Aquarium? Check it out.
I'm Dr. Hayward Matthews. I'm an oceanographer at St. Petersburg College. I was one of the co-founders of Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Sea-Rama actually started, I think, right after World War II, and it was in the downtown Clearwater Beach Marina building, and they had a series of plaster casts of various types of marine life, and it was open to the public. However, it was really very commonly used then by school groups. From what I can remember, the Sea-Rama basically shut down, number one, because they needed more space there for the harbor master's office, and number two, both Captain and Cricket Harris were getting very, very old and really were not able to continue run the operation. So basically the city came in and boxed up everything, put it in boxes and crates, and stored it in a city warehouse then back on the mainland.
Years after Sea-Rama closed down, Dr. Matthews had an idea to start a marine education center, but he needed a building. The city had their own idea.
Then they called us up and said, hey, how about if we give you a sewer plant? I said, oh, what? I said, no, thank you. We don't really need a sewer plant. This place stinks. But then I got to think about it. Went home that night, got to think about it. I said, well, wait a minute. So I called them back next morning. I said, tell you what, we'll take it. And so they already had then a science center, a Pinellas County Science Center. So the idea was to have then basically one up here that was devoted entirely to marine. So that was where I came up with the name then of Clearwater Marine Science Center. And so it was going to be mainly educational.
Dennis Kallenberger, former student of Dr. Matthews, became the very first employee.
My name is Dennis Kallenberger, and I was the first executive director of the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. My vision for this place was to be really a unique, hands-on educational facility. I saw, all the tanks. They were at least empty at that time. They weren't cleaned out or anything, but it was empty. But we had the original floor plan, which I looked at in how we would transform this facility into an educational facility.
Then they went ahead then and went in then and steam cleaned the tanks, got it all cleaned out.
But in the beginning, it was just a lot of hard work, day-to-day grind, no set hours, but 7 days a week trying to make it happen. We were also able to recycle some of the stuff, and I turned it into working platforms for the first stranding pools. It took years to just kind of get, because you're talking, we got the building in '78, and then I opened up the first classroom in '79, started teaching the first classes the summer of '79.
Presented by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, whose 35 miles of white sand beaches and world-class art scene landed it on the New York Times list of the world's top places to go. Plan your own adventure at liveamplified.com.
When you live amplified in St. Pete Clearwater, you dive deeper into every crazy, cool, connected moment. Come feel the pulse at liveamplified.com.
My name's Abbie Stone. I started at Clearwater Marine Aquarium in 1996 as an animal care intern. Back in the day, I don't think this place was known on island estates where we are, you know, grounded.
Yeah, back in the early days, in the mid-90s, there wasn't much staff here at the aquarium, and it was just assumed that if an animal came in, you would stay the extra long hours and help out as much as you could.
Back in the day, our training team was basically our CEO, or the executive director, the secretary, the accountant, the animal care people. Anybody that worked here was basically on the training team, and they did the overnight shifts. That's how it worked back then.
There'd just be a handful of people, literally, in the aquarium, and you could just walk up to them and kind of give them their own personal guided tour, whether they wanted you to or not.
Back then, CMA was small and, you know, struggling to stay open. We didn't have the best equipment to take care of the animals.
The primary reason I was hired was to do a turnaround of Clearwater Marine Aquarium. The organization had gotten in trouble over the years, financially and some other ways, some things had happened. Nobody's fault per se, it just happened that way. We're really just a litany of issues, and when I started I knew they were issues, but I didn't realize how significant they were until I actually started here the first day. I started interviewing the staff, finding out all these issues, and I realized this organization really has some major problems, and if we don't move quick, it's likely not going to be here. But what I saw was an organization that had a great mission and some really great people behind it. So you combine a great mission, the work we do here at CMA, with great people who have a great heart, I realized there is something to work with here. So that gave me some energy and excitement to work with.
Thanks for watching the amazing story of Clearwater Marine Aquarium, home of the tandem box office hits Dolphin Tale and Dolphin Tale 2. In our next episode, go behind the scenes and find out how the movies were made. It's an incredible journey of hope and inspiration. See you then!